regardless of what the setup is. My friends just brought me some equipment, a tripod, and
one of these like other sorts of things that stick on a table. And
hopefully they'll make this video easier. Thank you, Rabbi Chami, because they belong to him. Most of you watching this video are like, what am I even saying? Good question. In last week's Torah portion, Jacob leaves the confines of his home and, well, really yeshiva, and goes to a place called Haran, a degenerate, immoral place where his uncle Lavan lived. In the late Parsha show of last week, we discussed how Jacob leaving yeshiva, going to Haran, is actually this whole idea that God doesn't want us just to be spiritual beings and only serve him by divine spiritual service. But God put us here, souls within physical bodies, in this physical world, in order that we utilize the materialism of the world to serve God. This was God's very intention in creating the world. God wants to live here, in this physical world, with us. That we bring him to live down here, in this physical world, with us, souls in physical bodies. God wants us here to merge physicality with spirituality. Disclaimer, however, there are things that the way to use them for the service of God is by not using them. Cue the drama music, because in this week's Torah portion, our forefather Jacob, who in last week's Torah portion ran away from his brother Esav, who was planning to kill him, goes now back to his brother Esav to meet him. Will it be a loving reunion of brothers, or does Esav still want to kill him? Jacob sent angels in the form of men to his brother Esav to inform him of Jacob's arrival and to appease him. The Torah tells us of Jacob sending these angels, and immediately after records their return and response to Jacob. We came to your brother, who you thought may have brotherly feelings towards you, but unfortunately he's just plain old Esav, who still wants to kill you. Oh, and to do that, he has an army of 400 men. For more details on the rest of this dramatic story, learn the Torah portion yourself, and I strongly suggest using the Kahas edition Chumash. This is an unpaid advertisement, but that Chumash will give you the best experience, in my opinion. But here's what I want to tell you. The angels that Jacob sent to Esav represent things which are not physical. They're angels, they're spiritual beings. Now, what things do we live with that are not physical? Our knowledge, our emotions. Esav represents materialism. He was a person who was very indulged in materiality, and actually he was supposed to use it in the service of God, and unfortunately he failed. Says the Rebbe, the fact that Jacob sent angels to Esav before meeting him is exactly how we must relate to the material things in the world as well. How do we know what's usable and what's stay-awayable? That makes zero sense. How do we know which things we just can't use in the service of God and we have to abstain from? We dispatch our spiritual powers. Oh, spiritual powers, that's right. We all have the power to think. We could all use our imagination and think, what would I be like if I use out this opportunity? What would happen if I go to that place? Sometimes you'll say, hey, that's a real opportunity for me to reveal godliness within the physical world. But sometimes we have to think, and we'll realize the way I use this piece of the physical world out in the service of God is by staying away from it, is by not using it. I've been taught that the best way to stay out of trouble is by keeping yourself busy in the realm of goodness and kindness. So as we say here in MLTL, right here, right now, pick something that you're going to do in the realm of goodness and kindness. It may be the deed to tip the scale for the world. World. Okay, I'm tired. I'm slurring words over here. Seriously, do something. It may be the deed to tip the scale in the world's merit for the revelation of Moshiach now. Shabbat Shalom.